Dear Sundial friends, I like projecting sundials. That is, sundials where the time is not indicated by shadow of a gnome, but by a small spot of light. This is created by the projection of the sun through a small hole in a mask. First, I would like to introduce you to a sundial for temporal hours. You remember, temporal hours were already used in ancient Egypt, and in our region, they were common until the early Middle Ages. The time of daylight, that is from sunrise to sunset, was divided into 12 daytime hours. After that followed 12 nighttime hours. From today's perspective, temporal hours are strange, as their length change from day to day, and on most days, the duration of a night hour was not equal to that of a daytime hour. I cannot offer you a sundial for the nighttime hours, but for the daytime hours, one can find surprising simple sundials. Also, I have not found any corresponding indication to this day. I wonder whether similar sundials were main reason why temporal hours were used in many cultures and for more than 2,000 years. There are various definitions for both sunrise and sunset. For our application, it is useful to define that one is exactly between sunrise and sunset when the upper surface of a horizontal plane is illuminated by the sun, of course. If you create a, when you go to the next, and yes, if you create an indentation in the plane and place a mask with a fetal size hole over it, the point of light will move within the indentation from sunrise to sunset. I choose a half pipe as an indentation and oriented it north-south. In the morning, the next, after sunrise, a point of light will appear on one edge of the half pipe. At midday, next, meaning when the sun is at its highest point, the point of light is in the center of the half pipe. In the evening, as the sun sets, the light spot reaches the other side of the half pipe. From this perspective, every day of the year is the same. Since the angular velocity of the sun is constant, we can divide the half pipe into 12 parallel strips to form the dial. Next. In this image, shows the dial unfolded onto a flat surface. The position of the light spot in relation to this line indicate what the time of day is. Enter. Yeah. And in this form, the sundial is independent from the location. It works in north, south, east, and west of the Earth. However, next, we have marked the calculated path of the light spot on our sundial for the shortest day, for equinox, and for the longest day. This, of course, depends on the location. Enter. Next. We only managed to finish the clock a week ago. The printers who were supposed to print the dial had technical problems. This is what it looks like at 9 o'clock on March 13th. We haven't made any fine adjustment. Enter. Sunrise on March 13th was 6:46. As we are close to the equinox, the temporal hour is only slightly more than 1 minute shorter than the hour today's time measurement. We can therefore count down 6:45 on the edge, 7:45 on the next line, 8:44 on the beginning of the third hour. And you can see the clock appears to be running a few minutes fast. Next. In Bern, we have the famous Zeitglockentower with the astronomical clock dating from 1405. This was not very long after the switch from temporal hours to local time, let's say 200 years. We can read the temporal hours on the astronomical clock. You can see the golden lines in the background. The position of the small sun relative to this line tell us the temporal hours we are in. The Arabic numbers on the outside indicate the sectors. This means we have the date, time 12:03, and the 6th hour of the day, and our sundial seems to be in the same order. However, here too, one gets the impression that the sundial is running a few minutes fast. We will adjust it. I would like to highlight two features of this watch. First, the sundial can be used anywhere, just as it stands here. Second, sundial is very easy to rebuild. Even if you don't have any special knowledge about sun's path. One might get the impression that the temporal hour is a natural division of time. Perhaps we should rename the temporal hour the natural hours. I suspect that the principle behind this or similar sundials were known in the ancient time and contributed to the use of temporal hours in many cultures for over 2,000 years. If anyone has reliable information on this subject, I would be very interested. I will show you on the last, on the end of the presentation, my email address. Next. I will keep this brief regarding the projections on the of local and mean local time, as I'm not entered satisfied its current development. Therefore, I regard it as work in progress. The deal looks very similar to a classical sundial. The only difference being that the date line can be highlighted more clearly to indicate which side of the time equation correction is to be read. We choose a very large mask to emphasize the contrast between shadows and the point of light. However, the mask obscures the view from the side too much, so we have to change it. Next. Finally, I would like to show you the projection sundial for modern. Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is anything wrong with?
I have lost the picture. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or I'll try it.
It shows that golden projection sundial on
Okay,
some.
I have it back. Thank you.
Okay.
Finally, I would like to show you the projection sundial for the modern calendar. In our case, for Central European time. I describe it as a semi-digital sundial, as it displays the hours in digital numbers, and the minutes can be read on the analog scale. I'm now going to start the time-lapse recording of the sundial. As you can see, the mask is semicircular and has 7 projection holes. The hour marking summertime are punched out above the projection hole, and those for wintertime are punched out below them. Bern lies approximately 7.5 degrees east from the prime meridian and is therefore close to the formal boundary with the Central European time zone. Accordingly, the sun reaches its highest point at around 12:30 during winter and 1:30 during summer. The 30 minutes line thus marks the center of the minute scale. The sundial next. The sundial faces south, and the face is parallel to Earth's axis. Next. Yes, today on an axis, the sun is directly overhead at its highest point. The most important question regarding construction of a semi-digital sundial is it possible to arrange the projection hole corresponding hours in such a way that we can use exactly 1 minute scale? The answer is no, but we can come up with a good approximation. At school, we learned that the chord of a circle is seen at the same angle from any point of an arc. This is exactly what we need. The angular velocity of the sun is 15 degrees per hour. For an hour scale, we would therefore choose a chord of the circle that correspond to this. For a half-hour scale, however, we would need to choose a different circle with a chord closer to the arc. For a quarter-hour scale, the chord would be even closer to the arc. We therefore have positioned the deal as tangent plane to the circle and calculated the scale for all 7 holes based on this geometry. Of course, we have also taken the equation of time into account. However, this means that it would be virtually impossible to read the minute accuracy on a full year day. We have therefore created two dials. Please, the next. One for the period from the shortest day to the longest day, and one from the period the longest day and to the shortest day. This means that the deals need to be changed twice a year. The thick black lines form the scale for the central projection hole. The colored line corresponds to the 6 side projection holes. It is often accuracy enough to use the black lines regarding the minutes of the side holes as well. You can find more details about the semi-digital sunlight, including the calculation and the formula at this internet page. We also plan to describe the sundials for temporal hours on the same internet page. A semi-digital sundial has been installed in a public park, complete with audio guide accessible via mobile phone. We will propose to the Control Council that an additional sundial be installed displaying temporal hours, local time, and mean local time. The various sundials will be used to illustrate the key stage in the development of timekeeping up to the present day. I thank you for your attention.
Well, thank you very much for that, Leon. You're quite right to call them natural time. The Romans used the word dies naturalis, for natural day, and that precisely describes the day. It starts from sunrise and ends at sunset.